Okay, so it looks like we're going to cover some sidelines before move 11. Alright, so first sideline. We haven't played f3 yet, so knight g4 fails to bishop b5 check. And he has to block somehow, right? If he blocks on d7 with a piece, you take the bishop or the knight because he's pinned. Knight c6 allows you to take it, and then you win the exchange. So I'll never get another chance again because we're going to play f3 before queen d2. Alright, so what else is there? We already mentioned d5, but there's bishop b5 check. With the idea of taking, or taking on c6, or preventing him from castling, or playing e5. Knight c6, queen d2, d5. We've already looked at this also. Bishop b5 favors white. Black needs to have both knight c6 and castles to play d5. Okay, so castles, bishop c4, knight e5. It's basically just a transposition. Probably black should play bishop d7, castles. Alright, then rook c8. Fair enough, we transpose, king b1. He can play a5 also, but then after a4, I mean, he's just never going to break through on the queen side. And so you can just castle and checkmate him. Looks good to me. And knight c4, you can always just take it and support with b3 if needed. I'd be slightly cautious about this diagonal, but it's nothing to be afraid of objectively. You can even play knight b5 to support your other knight. Alright, so what else is there? Castles, queen d2. Okay, we've already looked at d5, I guess, right? And then e5 with f4. Better game for white. Space advantage, easy development, better pieces. Knight c6, bishop c4. Well, what else is there? Bishop d7. Okay, well, there's knight takes c4 also. With bishop e6. Trying to do early exchanges and play in the center. Develop really quickly. Something like b5, I guess, right? King b1. White's going to play in the center, because black has already improved white's position in the center. If given time, you'll also pawn storm and win Fischer style, but I mean, black's pawn storming pretty fast. Actually, that's the whole point of these lines. Knight takes d4 means black can get b5 in faster. And because you can get b5 in faster, you don't always win the race. And so sometimes it makes more sense to play in the center. Okay, so b5, king b1, b4. We're just playing in the center, and these positions just statically favor white in general because of the weak e7 pawn and bishop pair, but they're still playable for black, especially if he's willing to play lots of really accurate moves. And we're going to get back to this. We're going to get back to this because Anish Giri likes these endgames for some reason. But I'm going to cover the other sidelines first. Okay, so rook c8. It's the same idea. We just play in the center all the time. Key concept. We take on b3 with the c pawn, not the a pawn. The reason is we have more pawns in front of the king to protect it, and we're protected down the a file. And also, we're never going to get to the pawn endgame, so we don't have to worry about losing that. Eventually, we're going to play for pawn storm. We're going to play for knight d5. It's just much better for white. And something like b4. You can play knight d5, white's better, but bishop takes f6 is also pretty good. If he takes with the bishop, we can just play knight d5, and weaknesses are showing up everywhere. So, takes, and these endgames are good. These endgames are good because, let's say, something like this happens. Something like this. It's just like, white has these, the rook coming to the 7th rank, there's the queenside majority, there's the active king. White's definitely better. Whether black can hold or not is another question, but it's an easy way to play. I know I'm going through this really fast. You can drill it in the theory section. The conceptual summary is, when they take on d4, you don't always pawn storm as fast, and you often play in the center. And the reason is they've improved your center control, and they're faster on the queen side than they usually would be because they've removed your control over the b5 square. Okay, so what else is there? Is there anything else worth covering? Knight d7, castles, and it's probably just some sort of transposition, except it's really slow. You can move the bishop, they have to control the c4 square anyway, and white's usual ideas still work as usual. Okay, so let's say castles queenside, queen a5 exists as another sideline, but it's still slow. When in doubt, just play king b1, get your bishop off the file so that there's no discovered attacks, and after knight e5, bishop g5, for example, we're just playing in the center. Pawn storm's fine, I guess. Actually, it's the main line. But after something like this with knight b3, this is fine too. There's just a million ways to play. The sidelines are non-threatening, mostly. I'm just trying to keep it simple. I recommended this sort of as a trap if the queen goes somewhere back, you have ideas like e5 and then you win the bishop. I like doing that in the accelerated dragon also. But, I mean, you have to recommend something, right? Even the exchange sacrifice doesn't work because black doesn't have any active pieces. And we have maybe f4, maybe bishop e3, bishop d4. It's just working really well for white. So in summary, the sidelines are non-threatening. They don't really do anything. And if they take on d4, then you take back with the bishop and you play in the center. I'm gonna pause and go back to this in a minute with Anish Giri's lines. Hey guys, okay, we're gonna be talking about Anish Giri's new line, which I was always under the impression that black was just worse here because white had better center control and the bishop pair and the backward e-pawn, but apparently a5, a4 gives black enough counterplay in these endgames. Some new computer analysis shows that black is probably okay, but I think that he's defending a worse position still nonetheless. White still has the pawn storm potential, still has the bishop pair, and has the more active king. And I believe, yeah, I believe white's still slightly better. But here's some fun lines I looked at. I don't really want to just copy all of my analysis that I came up with and then just walk through move by move, because as far as I can tell, black is able to hold the endgame. It's just, I guess, summarizing my intuitive impressions, and if, I don't know, if you want to make this debate more serious, who knows, maybe Anish will be like, hey, in these notes, here's exactly how you equalize, or maybe some students here will have some comment, but yeah, I'd definitely be happy to play this position for white, and I'm going to move on to the next section.